Hi, my name is Tim Smith, and this is a speech on cigarettes versus e-cigarettes. Now, cigarettes have been around for 100 years, and there are many side effects to them. They include um, oral cancer, lung cancer, emphysema, heart disease. That's just to name a few. Although cigarettes have been around for 100 years, there's been many types of different cigarettes. One is Camels. Camels have been around for, since 1913. So, and this is their packaging. And yeah, I do smoke these from time to time, and I know it's bad for me. They have a camel, and the packaging is very bright. The lettering is very bold to keep people to. It draws people into this. And this is the problem with cigarette companies. They think, oh, we got them hooked. Smokers are going to come back to us. So, here's the thing though. What people don't realize is when you're smoking a cigarette, there's carbon monoxide in them, there's lead, there's formaldehyde, there's many different chemicals in a cigarette. And a cigarette usually is combustible, so you have to light it with a lighter, which a lighter is used to cause the chain reaction for when you light a cigarette. That's how you smoke a cigarette. When you light it, you puff on it, and basically the cigarette looks just like this. You have a filter, and then you have the cigarette itself as a tobacco, and basically that's how you smoke a cigarette. You light it up and you puff on it. Now, although people don't realize that a cigarette also has nicotine in it, which nicotine is a drug just like caffeine. It can cause stimulation in the brain. It can cause someone to have neurological problems, such as a brain tumors, brain cancer, and cause a lot of things in the brain. Now, about 5 years ago, there was an industry that started which was called e-cigarettes, and there was a lot of. They first started out with like an e-pen, and basically the e-pen was a very thin cigarette type device that looks just like a regular cigarette and looks just like this, and you have a cartridge that goes in the back of the cigarette. And that's how people started saying, hey, maybe I'll switch to this, I can maybe get off smoking, and it was considered to be an alternative. Now, about 4 years ago, I decided to go into vaping, which is an e-cigarette. And so my e-cigarette looks just like this. Now, this isn't a normal e-cigarette, this is what you call a vape. And it has a tank, and it has what they call the mod. Now, the mod has many different features on it, but a lot of times the packaging is the same. It looks just like they use bright colored boxes, they use everything from, lettering to something to get you involved into one of vaping. Some of the side effects from vaping are you get dry mouth, you get headaches. That's because you're only vaping the nicotine. You're not vaping tobacco. So if you look at it, a lot of times people say, oh, vaping is just as bad as smoking. In my opinion, yes, it is, but I'm not getting all the chemicals I'm getting from a cigarette. Like, when you vape, there are only 5 different types of chemicals in it. And the 5 chemicals are propylene glycol, vegetable glycol, acetyldehyde, and nitrosamines. I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. So basically, there's only 5 chemicals in an e-cigarette, which, in my opinion, are a lot better than 1,000 that are in a regular cigarette. So when you have this versus this, I'd rather be smoking this. Yeah, I smoke regular cigarettes because, I go back and forth, which is really bad for my health because I know what it's doing to my lungs. I know what it's doing to me and my body. And also, cigarettes makes you age faster. This is a proven fact. It's not an alternative. An e-cigarette is not an alternative. It's just another device to help you get off of cigarettes, which it has helped me a little bit because I used to be about 3 packs a week, and I'm down to I'll buy a pack a week, which that lasts me about 3 days, 4 days. So in the long run, vaping has helped me a lot. Um, it's not to the point where you're gonna quit. Some people have quit on e-cig, but a lot of people have kept on smoking regular cigarettes like me because you just don't get the same feeling from the e-cig as you do a regular cigarette. So if you feel like this isn't an alternative for you, that you rather keep smoking regular cigarettes, you know the health benefits, you know the health risk from a cigarette. You're gonna get lung cancer. You're eventually gonna get emphysema, heart disease. It affects women who are pregnant. It can cause them to have low birth rate. It can cause them to have a stillborn baby, and possibly the child may end up smoking when they get older because they'll need that nicotine dependency. Because when the mom smokes, that goes into the baby's lungs and it goes into their body because it goes through the mom's lungs and through the umbilical cord, which is connected to the baby. So if you're a smoker, my advice to you would be to quit while you can. I've tried, it's very hard to quit. A lot of people say, well, I can quit, cold turkey. I've tried it, it wasn't for me. I've had several times where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna quit, I'm done smoking, and then all of a sudden I pick up a cigarette. It is a lot of neurological things to it, like the brain. You have to want to quit. You have to have that oomph, that push. I'm gonna quit. This is it. This is my last cigarette. I'm done. A lot of people can't do it because they don't know how to make that change from smoking a cigarette to not smoking a cigarette. They don't have they don't have the mindset to want to quit. When you have the mindset to want to quit, you actually quit. So, yes, cigarettes are bad, and e-cigarettes are also bad. But when it comes down to it, an e-cigarette has less chemicals than a regular cigarette. Once again, this is a pack of cigarettes. It says right here on the side that smoking by pregnant women may result in fetal injury, premature birth, and low birth weight. Like I said, it can cause a baby to die if a woman smokes. So, although smoking has been around for 100 years, there has been some changes in cigarettes. I mean, they're not healthier by the means, but you can always buy an e-cig if that's your thing. If you want to keep smoking, switch to vaping. It is a unhealthy alternative for right now until there are more studies done on it. There's only been a handful done by scientists, and there was one that was done by a website called vapingdaily.com, and it's a smoking versus vaping. Basically, they go into detail about what vaping is and what a regular cigarette is, and basically how the effects of a e-cig and a regular cigarette does to the person's body. Now, these studies are done by scientists. They're done by college, professors who are wanting to know the effects of a cigarette. So, when you look at a regular cigarette, you have a combustion, which is when you light it. As an e-cig, there is not. It's heated up by a coil in the bottom of the tank or the cartridge. And that in turn turns to vapor, which creates a smokeless vapor. So you can smell it sometimes if it's flavored, but it's not harmful to anybody unless, they have asthma or something and they can't handle any type of aerosol. Basically, vaping is an aerosol that comes out after you push the button to activate the coil, which burns the liquid. So in conclusion, I know I've talked about how cigarettes are bad for you. Vaping is not necessarily better for you. It is an alternative for a smoker. And so the need for people to smoke, that's their need. You know, that's their dependency. They're depending on it. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to be smoking, figure out what is better for you, whether it be a regular cigarette or an e-cig. Now, I would go towards the e-cig because they are a little bit healthier, because they don't have as many chemicals as the regular cigarette does. So, I hope this speech has helped. I hope you enjoyed my my take on, cigarettes versus e-cigarettes. Thank you.